Welcome to the Deucecast Extra. The long national nightmare is over. We are back with more Star Wars content. It's been far too long. So long that I can't even remember when the last Star Wars thing that we talked about was. Probably Ahsoka. Yeah, exactly.
Oh,
But
yeah.
I am very excited to be back talking Star Wars. I had an epiphany this week as I was watching this random movie that I chose to watch. Just something that happened in the film really helped me realize something about Star Wars that we'll talk about later, because we are introducing a new segment. It won't be that long, but the clunky intro, the how's everybody's week been stuff, I want to focus that more for something that might benefit the viewer. Something that, our team here can talk about media that they have taken in each week that might be something that a person watching this episode would be like, hey, I want to try that out. So there's a podcast that I love, and this is a bit of nepotism because it's my co-host, David Dollar's podcast, the Main Street Electrical Podcast. If you're a fan of Mickey Mouse and Walt Disney World and all that type of stuff, it's a great podcast to listen to. But something that he does every week that I really do love is How Did You Disney this week? So what we're going to do is How Did You Extra this week? So we're going to go around the horn here, and we do have a fifth member of the team that's going to be the core group talking about Bad Batch this season. Dr. Earl, he will be here later, but hopefully we'll give him enough time to show up.
All we were able to find of Dr. Earl when we were looking for him earlier was his goggles.
It was his goggles. Yeah, exactly. It was scary. Yeah, exactly. So Garrison, I'm going to let you start the first ever How Did You Extra this week?
I have been reading a lot of novels by a particular author, and I extraed this week by continuing that and reading Warbreaker right now. Great story, a lot of fun, fantasy, a lot of mystery, some interesting characters, a sword that can talk.
Like the singing sword. How Arthurian.
Well, actually a bit more bloodthirsty.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. Magic system based on breaths. Yeah,
okay.
It's interesting.
So yeah, so is this part of the Mistborn series still, or is this
part of the Cosmere?
Which is so that's universe separate.
Which the Mistborn series and Warbreaker and the Stormlight Archive all take place inside a universe. These are different planets in that univere.
Oh gosh, because I'm just on book 1, so I've got a ways to go to catch up to you.
Are also world hoppers.
Oh my gosh, this is kind of why I don't read, is because of stuff like this, because I'm a completist for the most part.
If you ever see the name Hoyd in a book, Mikey, or hear the name Hoyd in the book, he's in like every single Cosmere book.
I have not yet heard that name. I'm still just on the very first book.
Okay.
So I have not yet heard that name, but maybe I will at some point. Who knows? So that's great. That fantastic first extra. So for the viewer, look up Brandon Sanderson. He's a good author. I'm really enjoying the book that I'm reading.
I recommend Final Empire, the first Mistborn book, for sure.
Yeah, that's the one I've only got like an hour and a half left in it. I'm doing it on Audible, obviously. So Jacob Roth from Wyoming, how did you extra this week?
Well, I had a nice iced coffee today. Oh, not White Girl Extra. We're talking media extra.
That's right. Sorry. The name of the show's Extra. So we're talking like, what media do you want to talk about? Like, what did you take in this week?
Well, this is a big week. We've got a sci-fi movie coming out. So Saturday, I didn't finish it Saturday night, so I finished it on Sunday. Rewatched Dune for the first time, and I looked since October 28th, 2021. The first Dune, of course. Not the first not the 80s Dune, but the
David Lynch.
Not the David Lynch one.
Not the David
Denis Villeneuve, Dune from 2021. Rewatched
not the sci-fi one. Not that one.
No, nope. Not the miniseries. The real Timmy Shalamala Ding Dong and Zendaya and that one.
Yes,
and
indeed.
I forgot.
Podcast of the Wills. Very much happy return of the Bad Batch.
But I forgot how good of a movie that was. Like in my head, I was like, Dune was awesome. I can't wait for Dune 2, but it got delayed so much that I just like kind of put it out of my mind, and now it's here, and I'm so excited. I also re-listened to my
Yes, you are, Melissa.
Day for the Movie podcast review of Dune Part 1, which was over 3 hours long.
Yeah.
And I forgot, and it kind of like I hyped myself up because I forgot how much I loved it coming off of watching it twice when it came out and reading the book. I went as far to say if Dune Part 2 is excellent, those two movies could go down as the greatest sci-fi franchise and movies of all time. I don't know if I'm still staying put to that.
Bold.
But we'll
bold.
see.
Strong
That's
statement.
strong.
Part 2 has
yeah, I'm planning on watching the first one tomorrow night. Just in prep, of course, for Thursday. So I mean, I've got time. I've given myself time. I'm not worried about it. Brian, back with us. You've been on Extra before. Hoping that you can join for the whole season. I know that you are a busy man. You're on the road. You're living the road life. I think we should play a fun game. Like if anybody that's watching now live or in the future can guess the hotel you're in,
that's right.
I'll send you something.
We'll send you something. You have to guess
guess the hotel.
There's a Margaret Mitchell like quotation on the wall here. If you can like decode that,
decode that. This will be like when Gravity. What was that show on Disney that Rhett loves? Gravity Falls. And they did this like random GPS coordinate thing for fans of that show to find characters out in a field or something. It's like that. But yeah,
like
if you in the comments, we're supposed to tell people to put something in the comments. In the comments, if you can guess the hotel that Brian is in every week, I'll find a way to send you something.
Props to you.
No hints, Brian. But so the question being, how did you extra this week, Brian?
Okay, so I was podcast adjacent as well. I've mentioned this, I think, to a couple people. The podcast I like by Tom Holland, not the actor Tom Holland, but the historian, the British historian Tom Holland, is called The Rest is History. And they recommended a series called The World at War, which is available on Blu-ray. And I finished 26 episodes of hour-long individual documentaries about sections of World War II. So that was my media consumption for the week. If you're into history or into
love that.
Just digging deep into a subject that you may think you know a little bit about, you might learn something. So anyway, The Rest is History and The World at War are my two.
Speaking of Tom Holland, I like the story. I think this is a few weeks ago, but about Tom Hollander getting a Tom Holland residual check.
It's like the most money he's ever seen.
Yeah. Oh, it was a lot of money. I'm sure it was a lot of money.
Yeah, well, you know that all he got was like a stub or whatever. He didn't even get like the check because the check
but he saw the amount. And he was like, that's more than I've seen in my whole career. And this is this kid's residual check.
Yeah.
I mean,
I just want to.
He's an Avenger.
I want to meet Tom Collender, for Melissa to use as to like sip like
Tom
spaghetti
Collender.
Drink a Tom Collins through a Tom Collender.
I want to know
Tom Hollander.
I want to know if Tom Holland, the director of Fright Night, ever got confused.
I know, right? That guy, you had to imagine that guy. There's a lot of Tom Hollands, apparently. Well, I was hoping Dr. Earl would get here. I mean, he assured me he would only be 5 minutes late because I wanted to go last because mine is Star Wars adjacent in a very odd way. I was watching this film called Cat Person on a whim, just based on cast alone. Amelia Jones from Coda is the star of it. Nicholas Braun from Succession is also in it. I'm going to butcher this person's name, but she's soon to be in the MCU, I believe. Geraldine Viswanathan.
Yeah, she is. She's in Thunderbolts.
She's in Thunderbolts. So
Thunderbolts happening.
And well, they say it's filming apparently. And Isabella Rossellini was also in this as well, and Hope Davis. Some people I hadn't seen in a while there at the end, but I watched it mostly because Amelia Jones, Nicholas Braun. I love Nicholas Braun. I think he's freaking hilarious. But this was a bit of a darker turn. It's a drama, psychological thriller. There is some comedic aspects to it though, and Nicholas Braun's character named Robert is a huge Star Wars fan. And so there are many just like Star Wars moments in this film that just made me smile. And it's sort of like I came to this epiphany. even though like everything that came out with the sequel trilogies wasn't something I absolutely loved, there were moments in each of those movies that I loved. And even though like maybe the High Republic isn't a book series that I loved, I read like, gosh, I think I read the first phase of High Republic, and it was just too much for me, like too many characters or whatnot. And
Hello.
so I hey, what's up, Dr. L? I stopped reading the High Republic, even though there was stuff in that first phase that I enjoyed for the most part. I really liked Marcion Rowe, the villain. I thought he was great. The writing good, but it's just like too many characters, and so I just did not continue reading that series. And so Star Wars is just like the comfort blanket for me. Like I love just everything about Star Wars, even though maybe I'm not totally in love with what they did with the sequel trilogy. But the thing is, there's just stuff you can find in Star Wars. And this movie Cat Person that I watched, which I believe I watched it on Hulu, if I'm not mistaken, just helped me remember that. Like, this is a franchise that I love, and watching these first 3 episodes of Bad Batch just reminded me also, I freaking love Star Wars, even if it's not the thing that I would consider quote unquote my version of Star Wars or whatever. So that is how I extra'd this week by watching Cat Person. Earl, we've introduced a new segment. I was really hoping the one day you were going to be late would not be today, because we introduced a new segment. Each week we're going to tell the viewing audience how we extra'd that week. So what that means basically is what media, be it a book, be it music, and I know you had some music recently that you might want to talk about. What would you want the viewer to maybe hear about that you extra'd this week media wise? And I'm trying to like goad you into talking about what I want you to talk about, but you don't have to if you don't want to. You can talk about if you watched a movie you really liked, or maybe went to a concert you really liked. I don't know. I mean, but so you go for it.
All right, Michael, I'll talk about it.
All right.
Twist his arm.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I was able to go out to Las Vegas to see the U2 concert and experience the Sphere, which is amazing. It's an awesome sort of surround sound, not surround sound, but just totally enveloping, immersive experience. Yeah, I mean, I love U2. They're one of my favorite bands.
Oh, I love you too.
Oh, thanks, Jacob.
It's not Valentine's week anymore, Roth.
So, yeah, I mean, they're slowing down. They're older guys, but
they're slowing down. Okay,
put a big spectacle behind them. You know,
yeah.
There's some kind of deal with the sound that's just amazing in this place.
Oh yeah,
like it's a focal point sound as opposed to like your typical. I don't know. It was just crazy, like how well it sounded, and yeah.
No, I heard the only way to experience the Sphere is to do it on mushrooms. So I'm assuming that's how you experienced it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was tripping, man.
Not hard to come about in
peyote, or some kind of desert. I had to go out somewhere in the desert.
of hallucinogen. Yeah, great.
Are the stairs as steep as they look?
Right, they say it's like...
Not when you're in the VIP section like I was.
Oh, okay. Wow, okay.
He was right next to Weird Al. That was the other thing, that he was at the same concert Weird Al was at. Weird Al was there watching it with him. I mean,
we were all in this line marching toward to like go in, and I looked up, and this guy with like kind of grayish, longish hair turned, and I was like,
"That's what I always like." I've never really.
He was just like amongst the people, like he wasn't like
he is a man of the people.
He is a man of the people.
So it was
I've
really
always
cool.
wondered that, like, if you're in a crowd and a famous person is there with you, will you really recognize that famous person? Like right away? Like will your brain like trip and be like, oh, that's so-and-so? Or will you just be like, oh, that's a bunch of, other people?
I was walking through Denver International Airport 2 years ago, probably, and it was pretty crowded. Everybody had masks on.
Oh.
And I fully recognized, granted, this person's forehead is about as recognizable as possible. I walked right by Peyton Manning.
Oh, yeah, that is a very recognizable forehead.
Yeah,
you're right.
But I mean, it was very crowded, and I was like, oh, crap, that's Peyton Manning. And I turned around, And I was like, I'm pretty sure that was Peyton Manning. And I turned around, and I was kind of following him, and then he stopped. I think he was kind of maybe with like a bit of a helper for his kids. I don't think it was his wife. I think it was like some sort of nanny. And I kind of walked by. I was like, oh shit, that is Peyton Manning. I didn't want to like stop and make a big thing of it. So I just kind of walked by. I was like, hey man, huge fan, love the Manning cast. And I kept walking.
That's
it was Peyton Manning. He looked up, he was like, hey, thanks, man.
So I mean, I guess like I have had I've been to enough Star Wars conventions that like seeing people out on the what they call the show floor, like where all the vendors are or whatnot. Like my brother-in-law and myself were at the one in Los Angeles. This was years ago. I think back then it was just called maybe Celebration. That'd be 4 or 5, I believe.
I was at 5 and 6.
Okay, so this was one in Los Angeles. Were you at the one in Los Angeles?
No.
Okay, so maybe this was 4 then, I guess. I don't know.
I need to say hey to Uncle Brian real quick. Hey,
what's up, brother?
Thanks,
how are you?
But
he's not my uncle, but your uncle.
Right, I understand. And not my uncle either. But anyways, J.J. Abrams was just there, like walking around with his kid.
Awesome.
Just like down on the show, and this was right before he was going to direct Star Trek 2009. So this tells you how long ago this was. This was after MI3. So he'd already directed that, and I was like the same thing. Like really loved what you did with MI3, and looking forward to seeing what you do with Star Trek. And so that was like kind of my weird. And you recognize
that's a good one.
You recognize the people pretty much right away. But anyways, okay, so we're like 17 minutes in, and we haven't even talked about what we're here for.
Let's do it. And I'm sorry to be late, guys.
This was our first How Did You Extra, and we're still gonna do. This is a segment that's happening. So whether you like it or not, this is happening. But maybe it'll go quicker next time. This was just, we're just experimenting.
Look, we've got another 5 minutes to burn, so we can burn as much of people's time as they spent burning watching the first episode of Bad Batch.
Wow. Wow. Okay,
well,
so
I have a different opinion about that.
Yeah, me too.
Me too.
These first 3 episodes, just real quick, called Confined, Paths Unknown, and Shadows of Tantus. Right now on IMDb, a little bit lower than I would think, 7.9. And IMDb is just user generated. So these are just users going on and doing their scores. It's not really anything, no algorithm that really matters in the grand scheme of things. But 7.9 for the first episode, 7.4 for the second episode, and 8.7 for Shadows of Tantus. I do think that's valid. I do think that's valid. So let's kind of go episode by episode. I don't want to talk about all 3 at the same time. Let's just take it, and we're not going to go through what happened in the episode. The way we do this on Extra, we are like a week after this thing has come out. In fact, episode 4 comes on tomorrow. We kind of just want to, talk about how we felt. Yes, 2 a.m.
Which could be almost considered tonight.
Tonight, right? Exactly.
We're not going to rehash that.
We're not going to relitigate. Let's please stop. Please don't go there. So, we'll go back in order like we did with the How Did You Extra this week. So, Confined, Garrison, thoughts on the return to Bad Batch? This being the first episode back, the final season. What did you think of the first episode?
I liked the slow burn first episode. I liked the kind of getting to know where Echo is and what's been going on, and kind of the whole surrounding of this lab and Project Necromancer, and I was really digging it. To be quite honest with you,
did you say Echo or you mean Omega?
Sorry, Omega.
Okay,
Omega.
I was like, did I miss something? I was.
What?
Yeah, no. Sorry. I let me be perfectly clear about this show. The one thing I'm really bad at with this show is names. I cannot remember half the names of the characters.
Right.
It's kind of why I stopped reading the High Republic stuff. There was too many names, and I just couldn't keep track of it. Not that I didn't enjoy what I read, but there's too many names.
I do remember the crew's names. I'll be okay there.
Picard, Geordi, Worf. Oh wait, that's the wrong
Legolas.
Yeah.
Legolas. Yeah,
Legolas.
Well, cool. Okay, so that's good. What about you, Roth? I mean, overall thoughts of the episode. Anything in particular that stuck out for this first episode?
This feels weird. I feel like I'm almost, as one Star Wars hater dies, another must rise to take his place. As Mikey has realized that he no longer hates Star Wars.
I know.
This first episode, I realized I don't like the character of Omega. I think she's a bore and annoying and just the worst. And
no,
just to, like,
it's okay.
Be killed off or something, because I just can't stand her.
Feel the hate.
And the first episode as a whole, sure, slow burn. I get, like, maybe if you enjoy the character of Omega, you like, I could see how that would be good. But it was boring. I barely paid attention. And I don't. Yeah, I mean, the first episode I did not care for. The next two I think were much better, and we'll go away from hating Star Wars the further we get into the show. But
that's
yeah, it was the first episode was a slog and tough to get through.
Man, okay, that's disappointing to hear, but that's okay. That's
no,
okay.
I respect that. I respect
that. What about you, Brian? Any thoughts of that first episode?
Sure. I think the directors of Andor had a meeting with the directors of Bad Batch and said, "Hey, how can we recreate the prison scenes on Narkina 5 and just like emulate that totally?" No, but I enjoyed the monotony of the episode. I mean, because it was monotonous. It was very much on
drip
purpose.
Of the faucet.
Yes, the water. It was the same day all over again every day, and seemingly no hope. But
one way out. One way out.
So I noticed her, like, just she was still in Clone Force 99, even as a prisoner. Attempting to observe it, and she wasn't just like walking around. She was like taking mental notes and plotting. So I enjoyed. That's the inference I got from her performance. So
that's good.
I thought you were going to say they got together with the creators of Andor and maybe like a whoever made that Tree of Life movie, and they were like, how can we make something really boring?
Dude, his name is Terrence Malick, sir.
Yeah, how dare you?
Auteur. That is.
How dare you?
How dare you, sir?
Dr. Earl, thoughts of this first episode, Confined?
Well, let me say this. I do see Ross' point. I mean, I think there was a way when I first started it, I thought, okay, there's really not much going on. But then as I started like tuning in a little bit more, because at first I was like, okay, she's in prison. I'm going to check my phone. But then one thing I liked about it, though, was it consistently had this just sort of down tone. Like it kept this consistent, like, this is miserable. You're stuck in this space. And so I really like that. And I kind of finally came around to Garrison's point about the slow burn, because you're right. What's the Tan Wee's character's name? It's Nala Se. Nala Se.
You mean Nala?
I liked how they made the little blood thing kind of the time marker, like chunk. It would do a little thing.
Although in that last episode, I feel like that took way too long to get.
Well, yeah, they were going shunk. Yeah, I was like,
you got to make
because Nala Se wasn't running it. So somebody else had to take, like, they had to be more careful because they weren't.
Right. Yeah, it was Emery running it. So
So
that's a name I don't remember.
What's her name?
I don't care about.
Emery.
What a useless character.
See the glasses?
What an absolutely useless character.
If she could die and I'd be okay.
Yeah.
She's
in fact, I'm pretty sure she's evil, and the Omega doesn't understand that.
So there was a lot of setup.
I'm just calling her Echo from now on.
Stop.
Another boring character in the shows that we cover.
Anarchy.
All right, there's another female character named Echo in Marvel, and
well, that's right. That's right. So anyway, I ultimately liked it, but I agree. I agree that it was more of a setup to prepare us for episode 3. We learn about the purpose of Betcha.
And also it's the setup to tell us, what the purpose of what the Empire is trying to do with Project Necromancer. They're trying to find, like, this M count that's perfect.
Find the perfect M count.
The perfect M count.
What does the M stand for?
Midichlorians.
Of course, but they don't want to say it. It's like in Madam Web where they didn't want to say Peter.
Mm-hmm.
It's the same concept. They don't want to say midichlorian.
The only thing I did not appreciate is the way they would draw blood from you with the hand thing. That's not
accurate.
Totally
not
unrealistic.
No,
You
it would
don't
go
know
too
how-
much.
You got veins right there, Earl.
Yeah.
Like
Well, yeah, but it would go more. They just went straight down. You would get down into the
You need
meat.
an angle.
You need an
do
angle.
not know the physiology
I don't know their
of
machines.
these clones
Oh,
from a long
that's
time
fair
ago
point.
in a galaxy far, far away.
yeah,
Fair
there's
enough.
Doesn't
New
even have a
Zealand,
belly button.
Australian clones.
Clones don't have
Getcha.
belly
Oh,
buttons. You
I
know,
think
that's
that
true.
may
know.
be my biggest
That's
issue
true.
with Omega is I cannot stand her voice.
Betcha.
Oh, it's
I
so
love-
annoying.
I just want to.
It just screams like children's 2023 television of like something annoying so everybody remembers it.
Yeah, no, I feel that. I look, some of the stuff that I liked the episode quite a bit just because it was a change of pace, which I liked. The Bad Batch had this certain pace about it in the second season.
The second season was not good to me. I thought
There was a lot. I had some
a lot of
issues.
formulaic, except for that final episode. But
They're
I think
trying
both
different stuff.
seasons were up and down for me.
Yeah,
that's
they're
fair.
trying some different stuff, and I totally understand the purpose of this episode. It's just to show the viewer how long she's there. She was there for, it looked like maybe like 90 days. I tried to count the ticks, so she was
Really?
there for a while. Yeah, I mean, certainly it seemed that way. But
Yeah, she was there. I mean, her character literally ages up at a certain
Her,
point.
Yeah,
her hair
yeah.
was longer. You know,
I mean,
her
her
hair
face
a lot
gets
longer.
literally older if you look.
Yep.
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 Yeah.
They did the animation is still great. I love the Clone Wars style animation, so it still feels like we're in the Clone Wars universe
instead of Andor universe.
right. Hemlock, evil dude.
Oh man, he's the baddest.
The hand thing, Crosshair. There's some concern about his hand. He's getting a little shaky. He did the hand thing at one point where he put his hand, laid it in his other hand like Hemlock does with his.
I like
glove.
how he's in like sort of like, you just need to leave me. I'm where I'm.
Well,
need to
yeah,
be.
Crosshair's kind of just, probably feels guilty about all the
I'm
things
where.
he's done, even though he had some redemption last season. He
Good
helped.
soldiers follow orders.
Yeah, that's good.
Thank you.
That's really
That's
good.
good. I like that. That's
Thank
very
you.
good.
Thank you.
But I think Crosshair's probably my favorite character now in the series.
He's pretty cool.
I mean, besides Gonky, of course. But we'll get to Gonky.
I think Betcher is my favorite.
Betcha.
Betcha. I'm a friend of Betcher. Look at my name.
Yeah, friend of Betcha. Betcha.
Stop trying to make Betch happen.
The bad bitch.
Whoa, careful.
Whoa.
Careful with that.
Easy.
So, anyways, the realization of the fact that Nala Se's still on Omega's side and doesn't want the Empire to find out
She's
that
dumping
she
that
has-
blood. Yeah.
she has perfect M count, whatever that means.
Perfect.
Perfect M count. The
Use
highest
the puss,
im-
Omega.
It's Mary Sue count.
No. Oh, stop that.
Just-
Not even close.
Oh, that's what Ray has.
she has the perfect MS count. Yeah.
MS
All right.
count.
We'll scroll.
Sorry. This is-
So
I'm
Look,
devolving. Go ahead.
I thought it was a good start to the season. I mean, it set up quite a bit as far as things to come. I mean, and that's why they did all three of these episodes, because obviously episode 1 and 3 are very focused
Connected.
on Tanis, and they wanted to show where oh gosh, I just blanked on the names of the clones.
Omega, Hunter.
No, Hunter. Yeah, Hunter. Yeah.
The
They wanted
regs.
to show
Rekka.
Hunter and Rekka are what they were up to, obviously. So let's go ahead. Anything
Remember
else to say
Rekka.
about Confined?
Yeah. One thing, I think in the last season, we're very used to the episodes kind of starting seemingly at a random place or
Mhm.
focusing on a random character that is not the Bad Batch themselves. So
Good
I
point.
thought I accepted that, and there was also
Oh, it
no,
did it this time too, didn't it?
yeah, very much so. And it was like there was no previously on the Bad Batch. It's like you're just thrown into this thing. And
Media
so,
res almost.
Hey, so Brian, there's a mystery going on with the fact that that shuttle crash, those guys were fighting something.
Yeah.
And of course, we're going to learn. We see it briefly in episode 3, which I don't fully understand what that is, but I guess that's part of the mystery.
I just think that I don't know. I wasn't quite sure what that in media res, like flying into, like, I don't understand why we needed to see that, other than it comes back around where they
find the shuttle,
able to find that ship in the 3rd episode. I mean, that's the only thing I can think of.
Right. And then later on in episode 3, I don't think they really fully reveal what is in, like, what the Emperor sees.
No, they do not. The specimen.
Right. We know exactly what it is.
It's Grogu, right?
I don't know. I haven't come to a conclusion.
Oh, is that Grogu all grown up?
No,
it'd be way younger. Well, not way younger Grogu, but 30 years.
Is it
20 years younger? 10 years younger?
I have no idea. What is it, Garrison?
Well, Grogu was like 50 when we found him.
Yeah. So he's like 40 in this, right?
Oh, you think we're going to get a Grogu cameo? Interesting.
Oh, I just that's just my guess of what's in the
Grogu was around during the Clone Wars. You see that flashback where he gets rescued.
Yeah.
I just think we're going to see like a weird, like, decomposing, like, body inside of a tube. I don't know.
You think it's?
I like that.
Or
I think we just get some Jedi that we know that's dead and decomposing. I agree with
Plo Koon or somebody like.
Not yet, Brett. I mean, we haven't
Kit Fisto.
seen one yet, but it could be. So you think it's more
baby Grogu? Oh, I would love it.
You think it's more like a strand cast of like a Snoke type situation?
That's exactly what it is.
That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah.
That's why they want the M count to be higher.
They want the M count.
Yeah, they're trying to create clones to replicate.
I think they have multiple Jedi, dead Jedi that they're pulling DNA
we know they do.
From.
We see that.
I think
there's a male guy in the computer screen, right?
Yeah, but
that's a clone in the computer screen, right? That's the different.
Yeah, that's a clone in the computer screen, and then obviously Omega, when she pops up, they know it's her. So when I for a minute thought that perhaps Emery was in on this thing with Nala Se, because she was always placing Omega's test tube in the same spot. So
yes,
Emery, I'm pretty sure Emery's just evil.
I don't know that she's evil. She just might be just doing her job.
She's going to turn good.
I don't think so at all.
Well, she gave her the doll back.
She gave her a doll. Big whoop.
She's chaotic good, or what's that whole thing?
Chaotic bad.
Chaotic bad.
I don't even think she's chaotic. She's just
really not. She's
what's the opposite of chaotic?
Bad.
Yeah.
I don't monotone, boring, bad.
I just felt like there was I just felt like it was kind of weird that specific test tube was always put in the same spot. And I thought that maybe the reveal was
sending a signal to Nala Se.
Well, signaling.
I'm thinking it was a nod to the audience. Like, that was for us. I think it's like, hey, here's her blood. I don't know.
I don't know. I was hoping that what I was hoping would happen is that Emery would know, oh, I'm not going to run that particular test tube, but she ran it anyways and found, ruined my whole theory there. But so Paths Unknown, sort of, we go away from Tanis.
It's a total switch up.
Following Hunter and Rekka as they are on a search obviously for Omega. So they're going to the coordinates of a planet that the Empire used to be at. This was more like a second season episode for me, sort of adventure of the week type thing.
Yeah, kind of. It had some of that, but I thought it was less. It was more like focused on the mission of where. Like, I feel like this whole season's more focused. I don't know.
Well, sure. I mean, the first part of the season obviously is going to be finding Omega. Second part of the season is going to be taking Tanis down, I would think. I mean, that's their goal in the end, because they want to, rid the world of Hemlock and all the stuff he's doing on this.
Are we going to lose the Bad Batch in this season? That's the question.
I'm not sure. So, Garrison, any thoughts on Paths Unknown? We get a Daniel Logan voiced clone.
And
Paths Unknown, known as the episode where I started it and then
Fell asleep.
Then, like Earl, I was like, I could check my phone. And then I finished it and was like, I really need to rewatch that because that was, I don't remember what happened.
There's a big maw. There's a big, like,
sure. There's two boys and they stow away with
three boys. Oh, no. Garrison doesn't know what's going on.
Three clones.
I paid attention this time, Garrison. Well, we got to start back, though, with
I found this episode more boring than the first episode.
Yeah.
The horns.
Go ahead,
the horns. What are the guys with the horns? What are they called? The
Devronians?
Devronians.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we got to start with the Queen, played by Angelica Houston, I believe.
Yes, you're exactly right. Voiced by Angelica Houston.
And we see them bringing in. Well, sorry, I didn't mean to jump over Garrison.
No, go. Garrison obviously doesn't remember what happened in the episode.
No. I mean, they meet the kids and then they get on the ship together and they take off and who cares?
Right. The last 5 minutes.
Oh, Garrison.
I honestly, I care way more about Omega's storyline.
Even though you don't know her name.
I was really trying not to say Echo.
No, but I like your mention of the Devronians, Earl, because those are characters, at least the male Devronian, we'd seen him before.
And so the whole part, the interesting thing is we start off with not really understanding. They drop a guy through the ray shield, right, down into the bottomless pit. And then here comes Wrecker and Hunter with a pike. Yeah. A captured pike. And I was trying to remember, was there something with this pike and the Devronians that we know anything about? Or is this just
I mean, not really. Brian, were you going to say
maybe they just traditionally, I think they dislike each other. I mean,
yeah, they just dislike each other because they're different factions.
Warring crime syndicates.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I think that's more of it. Yeah, the Devronians
against the family.
The Pikes. I always do like the Pikes, though. But yeah,
cool character designs.
Yeah, it is.
And I like the moment when you thought, "Oh, is she about to hit the button? They're going to drop down," but then she folds out the.
You know what that reminded me of is Transformers the movie, Guilty or Innocent. And the Sharkticons in the bottom of the. I freaking love that movie. Sorry, but that's kind of
got Rat's attention.
Well, I mean, it's a great movie, so it's I kind of that's art. That movie is art.
Is it?
Dude, yes. Transformers the movie, the animated one. That is.
It's fine.
This younger generation doesn't understand.
Oh my gosh!
Transformers 1 is going to blow it out of the water.
Yes. Transformers 1.
The other thing I think to get Rhett to watch
I gave
this,
Transformers the movie 52.
No, Rhett's never going to watch this series. He won't. But you can try. If your goal is to try,
go ahead. Go ahead.
The main character has tentacles. I mean, come on. He's all in.
That's true. The main character. Oh, you mean the monster in this episode?
The monster. Yeah, the monster of the week.
The tentacles.
Those aren't the type of tentacles Rhett likes.
Sorry.
Generally speaking. So I was thinking, is this a cousin to the Sarlacc? It looked very similar.
Yeah, I thought this is exactly what they were going for.
Yeah,
I did at the end. Yeah.
Well, I guess we're still going around the room. I'm sorry.
No. Just jump in, man.
No, I did like the 3 regs as they were, and they were like, "Oh, you guys are 99s. Y'all are like defectives." Yeah.
Yeah, they knew immediately what they were, which was interesting.
And I kind of like their vibe, like their energy was kind of good. Like I was hoping they would stay and have a couple of more adventures, maybe with the Wrecker and Hunter. That'd be kind of fun.
We'll see them again. They're going to the island of Misfit.
Yeah, they're going to the
vacation island.
Pabu.
I thought it was interesting that they chose to have 2 of those 3 clones not voiced by D. Bradley Baker. I recognized Daniel Logan's voice right off the bat, and then the Deke was voiced by Julian Dennison.
Interesting.
From like Hope to Wilder People, Deadpool 2.
Okay. That's interesting. Okay.
So basically, they're just going. going down the line trying to find
people from New Zealand that can that have a semi-Kiwi accent.
Taika.
That aren't Taika. Right. Yeah,
no
exactly.
more Taika.
That are not him.
Star Wars and Taika need to be so far away that no, he's fine. We'll see.
Taika needs to only make his own stories. Yeah. Never make something based on real events like that crappy soccer movie.
Well, Ragnarok was good.
Ragnarok was fine.
Reef.
They could have.
Wow. Oh my gosh. Allegedly. Do not post that.
Yeah, I don't know that's even. Yeah.
That's gee whiz.
Remember all that crazy Ray Park stuff that happened on Instagram?
That's what Rhett is
alluding to.
That's what exactly.
I didn't know Daniel Logan was involved in that.
Well, he was.
Yeah, well, that's the thing is, I feel like
people. Is this a post-show topic?
That weren't 100%.
Yes, please. It's all alleged.
It's live.
Just don't fall into his trap. Don't fall.
Don't fall into Rhett's traps. At all, please, ever. But so yeah, I mean. They were trying to find further information. Obviously, they figured out, and the unique thing, not so unique to the Empire, but this is what the Empire does with bases that they're done with. They just decimate them. They just like wipe them off the planet if they're done with whatever they were trying to accomplish at whatever said base they're at. They just, blow it up basically.
Well, they got a hot tip, or the tip they got from the Devronians, right?
Yep.
She said, okay, here's where this base is. And they went there and it was like they'd already moved. So it was
they'd already moved. So they had to go down to try and find, the other information. But
you know who else got a tip?
Gonky. Did you say Gonky?
Gonky for sure.
Gonky. Did you say Gonky? He did get a little tip.
I love Gonky.
He got tipped
that's
over.
what Garrison was referencing.
Gonky's the best. Gonky is the best.
Garrison.
Wow.
That's so great.
Wow.
Woo! He saved it at the last minute. He pulled it out of us.
I am glad that Gonky was in the episode. That's good. I want Gonky to be. I want Gonky and Betcha to be in every episode now.
Betcha.
I want them both. I want them both to be in every single episode.
I would be fine. I can make the trade-off of Betcher being in every episode if Betcher rips Omega's throat out.
Dude,
wow.
Omega's
she's the star.
She's the worst.
She has the highest M count of all.
What is happening?
She's just the worst. She's so annoying.
No, she's great.
No.
She's the glue that's holding the 99 together.
No.
She's there for
she's the smartest.
She's trying to.
She's the Mary.
She's not the smartest, but
I'm not. She's not my favorite character, but I'm invested in her story at this point.
Yeah,
I mean, that's how I feel.
Too. I'm invested in the different hairstyles. I'm glad that she has the longer hair with the
older Omega's hair is definitely better.
Yes, it is
than what it was. It's less.
Somewhat serious question, guys. Is this a kids show? Because
no,
I feel like the stuff with Betcher is aimed at children, and then there are situations.
I feel like it's kind of in between.
It's
I don't think
it changes episode to episode.
Line.
I think this season won't be for sure. I think this season's going to be pretty serious throughout.
Right. She makes a little doll and it's cute, and then the Betcher we're treating this animal nicely.
That Rancor episode was absolutely a kid show.
Yeah, for sure.
So I actually talked about this last night when I was watching these episodes because my girlfriend was over and she was like, what ages is this aimed at? I'm like, that's a great question. I don't think the show knows. I think it changes every episode. No. Some episodes are like, I feel like if I was 5 years old, I would really enjoy this. Other episodes, I'm like, if I was 5 years old and was watching this, I'd be scarred for life.
Okay.
Right.
Well, look, so let's answer that question. Every animation wants to be made for kids because that's the audience that's going to,
not Fritz the Cat from the 1970s.
Well, maybe not Fritz the Cat. Maybe not Fritz the Cat, but sure, this is the intent is for children to watch this, yes. But I think that it's much deeper than that as far as the content that adult fans can enjoy as well.
Yeah.
I mean,
yes, but I feel like this one leans way more to kids than the Clone Wars did.
Oh God, have you watched Resistance? That show
That's a
was
total kid show.
You know,
I've watched the first episode probably 7 times, and I've only gotten through like 75% of it.
you know, I gotta
you
put
can't
this-
even get through the first
Oh,
episode.
No,
No, it's terrible. It's a terrible.
so
show.
I
bad.
watched the whole thing. I thought it was fun.
I mean, I watched it already. My
Oh, you did watch it all? Good for you. It's a good.
It's
Well,
the only canon non-book stuff that I haven't seen.
Oh, you're lying now. You haven't
haven't
watched
seen
the Young Jedi series.
That's
What?
not canon.
Yes,
it?
it is.
Oh,
That's 100% canon. It's
I don't even
characters
know
from
what
the
this
High
is.
Republic. It's on Disney. What is it? Disney Junior? Yeah,
that's
it's 100%
so stupid.
canon.
What?
Should be canon.
What's a Disney
Yes,
Junior?
It's got
Why can't-
Yoda in it. It's
Young
canon.
Jedi?
Yeah. What do you mean
Oh,
you don't
it's-
know what this is?
Just
No,
watch
I
the
have no
trailer.
idea what this is.
Yeah, it's
I
Young
know what
Jedi.
it is,
It's
but it
on-
shouldn't be canon. That's stupid.
It's 100% canon. It's High Republic's got Yoda. It's 100% canon.
High Republic.
It's
It's-
not even
it's-
on Disney Plus. It can't be canon.
Hey
It's
guys,
Disney-
Ahmad Best posted a picture saying he's
Oh.
back, basically. So
Sweet.
Back doing what? Back as what?
mocapping Jar Jar.
Mocapping Jar Jar.
Darth Jar Jar?
Is he in High Republic?
No, but he could be an acolyte. That's only 50 years before.
That's
And it's also coming in April.
No, not all of it's High Republic. It's only 50 years before Phantom
They
Menace
said it was
now.
late High Republic or whatever.
They said it was as the High Republic was ending. Stop it, Rhett.
Yeah, June
Sorry.
5th is the Acolyte release.
Well, that's the rumor. Yes, that has not been confirmed by Disney. But yeah,
Oh.
they're saying June 5th. It hasn't been confirmed by
It's
Disney.
been confirmed by Garrison. So
It's been confirmed. But-
I did not
Scoop.
confirm that.
Scoop.
Okay.
Some
So are
sites
we
put
saying
that out, though.
are we saying we are done discussing Paths Unknown and we're ready to move to Shadows of Tantus, where all the good stuff
there were
is?
Yeah.
tentacles grabbing. I don't know. Yeah, we're done. Gonky.
They got a lead by accessing the computer. They got the lead
Sure.
that they needed,
And they've got
It's
the
been
right system.
Totally remember this.
and they got the
They've got-
they got a
They've got the
system.
right system.
Right, exactly. So, anyways, so Shadows of Tantus, 8.7 on IMDb.
It
People
was a
like
good episode. Yeah.
Lando's
like
not a system. He's a person.
He's not a system. He's a person.
Lando.
So this is basically the escape episode.
One way out.
One way out. She was certainly helped by Nala Se. She had
Nala
Nala
Se.
Se's iPad, basically.
Tablet. Yep.
tablet.
Tablet.
Yeah.
She goes, grab the tablet and go towards the. She's
Right.
trying to get a shuttle at first, right?
Well, that's what Nala Se said. Like, try and find a shuttle, and then they were like, the only
Yeah.
shuttle that's available is the Emperor's.
And guess who showed up? Wait, we got to talk about that.
Well, and Crosshair was like, no, we're not getting the Emperor's shuttle. There's no way.
I really thought that's what they were going to do. I'm like, wow, this is a kid show.
That would have been bold.
Does Nala say to get a shuttle? I don't-
Omega says that's what Nala Se said at one point. We don't
She
hear Nala
said,
Se
get a
say it.
pad.
Okay, because
go-
in the room she's just like, she can't scan that
Yeah.
blood, basically.
No, I think she alluded.
Well, she
to
was
some-
like, get out of here before they scan the blood. Or
yeah,
something,
get out of here
because-
before they. Well, no, she knew the blood was going to get scanned at that point.
What's the bad guy's
Oh.
name? Was he
Hemlock.
Hemlock blocked her or something?
That's
or
not because she was trying to prevent it being scanned at first.
Oh no, Nala
yeah, she
Se
kept
was.
dumping the samples. She
but
kept throwing it away.
Hemlock
Right?
was taking Nala Se out of there to give
Yeah.
a tour to the Emperor.
I
She
just
knew
watched
that blood was going to get scanned, so she's like, "You got to get off this planet." I mean, because that blood is
Yeah,
going to get
yeah.
scanned. So, I mean,
Okay.
she
Right,
knew
well,
what was going to happen. She knew
it
they
was
were
like-
going to unlock the key to the Empire.
Trust us, Garrison. We're
Right.
I mean, I just watched it.
In the 19, to me, it was like the clicking, the ticking noise in 1917. It's like click.
Yeah,
Yes,
it was way
yes,
too
yeah.
slow, though.
yeah.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
So,
So good.
they go through the betcha pin that so they get out that way. They
she
barely
goes
make it
back
out.
for Crosshair,
Crosshair.
gets him out. Yep.
And he's still reluctant, of course, but he's like, "Look, you forced me into it. I mean, you opened my cell and threw me a gun, and I had to." It was interesting to me that they were still setting phasers for stun. Sorry for the Star Trek reference there, but they were still doing
This
that,
blue circle. Yeah.
even though
That's,
later in
that's
the
why it's for kids because they're.
well,
using
no. Even though later in the episode they completely were just firing at will at all the clones. So they didn't care when they were in the spaceship, but they cared when they were up
They
close.
took them off stun when that beast was attacking them.
Right. Yeah.
What was that beast?
It looked like mini Godzilla. It almost like when it stood up,
mini
it was
furry
like
Godzilla.
So don't you
furry
think that
Godzilla,
beast is connected to the very beginning of episode 1 when they were shooting at something? Is there something with that beast beyond?
But I think that's all the
yeah.
connection is. I think that's the beast that killed them because that's the ship that they were wrecked.
I mean,
So you think that's
I really don't.
I was just trying to think if it's some kind of clone aberration that got away or something.
No, there was no, you're right, because there certainly was some of that going on where they were putting they were cloning
animals.
What was the name of that beast they were trying to clone?
The Zilla Beast.
Zilla Beast.
Oh, maybe it's a Zilla Beast then.
Yeah, but that was definitely not a Zilla Beast. That was
the Zera Beast.
Garira. So anyways, the escape was, barely an inconvenience. They got out pretty easy. They had a whole battalion chasing them, and they got out pretty easy.
And they only launched like 3-4 fighters after them. It was kind of silly.
Yeah, it was. Well, once Hemlock found out he had the M count blood, he was like, "Let him go." So that and he wasn't, because he was very
Well,
he wanted to go get her, right? He wanted to save her. He didn't want to kill her.
He didn't want to kill her.
He didn't want to destroy the ship, and also, because they can just track that ship.
Yeah,
like Leah, they let us go.
They'll find the Bad Batch.
Yeah, they will find the Bad Batch. Yeah. So, anyways, I thought these first 3 episodes were fine. Certainly helped by the fact that they were dropped at the same time, though. I don't think that they could have just given us Confined and had that be the premiere.
I think you're right about that.
They had to release these first 3. They're going to say it's because they're on a timeline, but no.
Episode 2 could not. Episode 2
I mean,
could not have survived this without.
I agree.
Yeah, so they needed to drop all 3 of these. And man, we've actually got. I think this is the first time ever we've got the titles of all the episodes. And there's 15.
Mike, where did they post this? Real quick.
It's on IMDb, and it is accurate. It is accurate, though. That's not the only
Can we
place.
confirm this accuracy?
Yes, it's not the only place that all the titles of the episodes, because the next episode's called A Different Approach.
Okay.
So I'm guessing we're going to go back to Wrecker and Hunter.
Yeah, I have a feeling we'll be switching back and forth.
We're going to be jumping around until they meet up at some point.
Yeah,
well, it'll probably be mid-season when they do. So March 13th.
I know you guys are moving on. I did like how he said, let's do, what was it? Something 72.
Yeah. Plan 72.
Cool. Plan 72. That was really cool.
And she knew it because Tech made her learn all the plans or whatever.
Yeah.
So he knew that she knew. And
I know that you know that I know.
Of course, Tech told you all of that. I love Crosshair. I think Crosshair is going to be integral. I think Crosshair is going to be integral to this season. I think he's going to sacrifice himself.
Yeah, I was about to say.
I say this every season, but I think he will sacrifice himself.
Sucks that he's having these physical issues because he's not going to last long.
Well, yeah,
he's got
having
the shakes.
I don't even.
Yeah.
Do you think we get a full reunion with Crosshair in the Bad Batch, or do you think
so.
he sacrifices himself so Omega can get back to them?
Oh, interesting. I
think he'll have a reunion.
Possible.
And is Tech really dead?
That's a good question.
Yeah, Tech needs to be dead. They don't.
No, I think he'll come back for you, Mikey.
They don't need to do. They do not need to bring Tech back. That his death needs to mean something. That's what. That's the one thing that some of these animated series don't get right.
Tech in the middle of the sky. I was falling in the sky, and I realized I could craft a machine to make myself.
You're good at all the voices,
capture.
Earl.
Oh yeah.
We're just going to start calling you Earl Bradley Baker.
Earl Bradley Baker.
So didn't they focus on the ship for on a pair of goggles for half a second? It made me think of Tech. I was like, oh
no, that was Tech's goggles for sure.
Yeah,
he was remembering the losses because he looked at that,
Right.
And then he looked at the stuffed animal of Omega's and just was feeling the. So I think that's why they did that shot.
Yep. Just to remind us.
I am hyped for the season overall. I think that we're going to get a lot of good stuff in this. What?
I thought Rhett's comment was about the Bad Batch. I was like,
no, they're having their own conversation about.
They're talking about.
They're having a Poor Things podcast over.
No. Past lives.
Yeah, past lives.
Oh, past lives. My bad.
Yeah.
Hey, Mikey, I'm kind of glad you forced me to talk about U2 concert because I was about to talk about Bottoms, so it's probably for the best that.
I actually liked Bottoms.
I did too. I liked it a lot.
I thought it was actually pretty good. But
Marshawn Lynch is just insane in that. But anyway.
Oh, crazy thing about Cat People.
What is Cat People? I don't even know about.
It's this movie with Nicholas Braun and Amelia Jones. The screenwriter, was the same one that did Operation Mincemeat. Two completely different types of movies. She's a good screenwriter, though. She's solid. There was some really good dialogue.
Oh, Operation. Okay.
That was her first theatrical screenplay, was Operation Mincemeat, and then Cat Person was her second. It's wild, but she's a good writer.
Rhett, that stare at the end, though, I don't know. That stare at the end was borderline.
Oh, you guys talking about past lives? Lee did a great job not leaning to the hey side, leaning to her. I never felt like, yeah. There was some longing there. It's fine. It's no big deal. She made the right decision. Spoiler alert.
Yeah.
So, it's fine that there was. I have no problem with.
I don't know if she made the right decision.
She did.
Oh, she 100% did.
No, she made the right decision.
Sorry, Brian.
I don't know if that's ultimately her forever.
Hey, don't spoil the movie for Brian now. He hasn't seen the movie.
I'm going to go get it on Criterion tomorrow.
It's not there, so you're going to have a hard time. You can rent it. It is available to rent, though.
Probably on Prime.
No, it's on Showtime. It's streaming on Showtime. Yeah.
So if you've got Paramount Plus, Showtime, if you got the massive streaming, all streaming services, it's available. So awesome. Well, I think we did good. These 3 episodes were fine, and we're good. Jeez.
This is not.
I wrote a note to myself.
I'm just really sad that we can't hijack planes anymore.
Oh God. Yeah.
What kind of country have we turned into?
I know,
not allowed to hijack planes anymore.
I know. It's ridiculous. How come we can't do that anymore?
DB Cooper, come on, he was the OG.
I had this note because I'm just I'm old and I forget to do things that I'm supposed to thank the chat. And I don't think I want to tonight. I don't think I want to thank the chat.
There were some nice people in the chat.
Yeah, they were gassing up Earl. Don't thank them.
Yeah.
Melissa was there. She was great.
But
Andrew
otherwise,
was here early.
Andrew was there. Melissa was there.
That's true.
Rhett was.
Any final thoughts about these 3 episodes before we shut it down tonight?
Nick of the Wills was there.
Yes, he was.
I keep thinking about how the Emperor can feel and sense the thoughts of everyone around him. Yep. And so he must know. He must know certain things or know Hemlock's motivation and all this other stuff. So anyway, I'm curious to see where they go.
Well, and Hemlock flat out verbalized what his motivation was. He wants to head the whole science division, and every person in the Empire has their own delusions of grandeur. They want
delusions of grandeur, right?
Yeah, they want to be in a higher position than they already are.
Yes, it's all about power.
It's all about power. It's all about the whole hand thing. I'm thinking a lot about that because I'm not quite sure why the correlation is there with Crosshair doing the hand thing for a minute and Hemlock doing that. Are they trying to tell us that Hemlock's a clone? I don't know. I'm not. It's just all very strange.
Maybe it's when the clones decompose. That's they get a Parkinson's type tremor. I don't know. Maybe that's.
Well, no, it's more just placing his hand just like Hemlock does. There's got to be some significance to that.
Because the tremor, is he?
No, not the tremor. You know how Hemlock places his hand? It's like this.
Yep.
He's got this. So in the first episode, Crosshair does the same thing. So I don't know.
Garrett's just like,
it's
we're
interesting.
reading way too much into this.
Well, maybe I am, but I'm looking for anything here because it's interesting. I mean,
I didn't notice it. I'll be on the lookout.
I don't know what hand thing you're talking about. It's something that Hemlock does.
I honestly was laughing at Rhett's comment.
Oh, okay.
That is like a character. Even in season 2, Hemlock was doing that, placing his hand. He's like,
what does he do? Like this?
Like that.
Lift your
Just
hands
like
up
that.
a bit.
Yeah, just
It's
like
like
that.
this.
Like you're receiving communion?
Yeah, that's how he does it. He's got
It's
this
like-
black glove.
Now, granted, I do it on the tongue, but
So, okay, but I mean, that's. Anyways, I don't know. I guess I'm crazy. I'm the only one that noticed it, but I thought it was in
hand.
It's
Not
a safe
sure what
hand.
to do.
Yes, Garrett.
It's just safe hand. So
He has no idea what
is that a
Mike's like,
Sanderson
"Safe
reference?
hand."
I have no what I
Sanderson,
do.
come on, baby. Get some
Sanderson.
Sanderson.
Oh, I haven't gotten that far.
that's a Stormlight thing, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, I don't know. No idea.
So I tried to explain safe hand to my wife's best friend, and it was the funniest thing because I didn't really understand it. I don't think I still understand it, but we laughed for like hours, and we still text safe hand. And anyway, it's something silly.
Wait, what kind of sports is on right now?
Yeah, I
Roth?
know. Jacob just cheered.
Cricket. It's the cricket finals. What are you watching there?
Are you
College
watching
basketball.
cricket? Is Wyoming playing right now? Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't know.
No, you're good. You're good.
All
I
right.
didn't realize it until like 5 minutes ago, and I was like, let's turn this thing on.
Right on.
They just stole the ball with like 14 seconds left, down 2, 5.7 left on the clock, shoot at the line.
Nice. All right, we're going to wrap it up. Thank you to the chat. I am going to say that. I wrote it down to remind myself to do that every week. So thank you to the chat. It does make it a lot more fun for us, and with all the craziness that goes on in the chat.
Great.
And for anyone that actually participates in the
Who's
conversation.
staying up till 2:00 to watch the 4th episode?
Nope. Nope.
And
I
don't
got
forget
work.
don't forget our contest. Leave your comments as to
Right.
which hotel.
Yeah.
And what
In
city and
the
state I'm
comments. In the comments, if you can guess what hotel, and I just need the brand.
What hotel? What?
If you can
Where
guess
I
the hotel brand
Oh,
that Brian is in, I will find a way to send you something. Maybe I'll buy you a cup of coffee or something. I don't know. All you have to do is guess the hotel brand, because he's going to be in a different hotel every week. I'm sure. Literally no one is. Yeah. Speaking of literally no one is, we need subscribers, guys. I mean, we are doing this just
Did
for
we scare
fun.
them all
Smash
off?
that button, ring that bell.
Yeah, we are going to keep doing this. I mean,
Push that button.
I don't really care about the subscriber thing, but I guess you're supposed to if you're on YouTube. So, I mean, might as well ask for it. So if you share the episode, like the episode, subscribe, mash the bell, leave a comment, all that jazz. Marry up Bonvoy. That's wrong, by the way. Best Western. Yeah, exactly. The other thing that we do, Dr. Earl, myself, and I mentioned him earlier, Dave, have a podcast that releases every Wednesday, generally on the topic of movies. So we've got an episode coming out tomorrow. I honestly can't remember what we did. This is the worst thing. Getting old.
It's a classic. It's a classic episode.
No. Oh, the episode that drops tomorrow is a classic episode. You're right.
Oh, it's the very first.
It's the very first Deucey
Deuceys,
episode.
yes.
That's right. I'm excited. I haven't.
Deucey.
That was back in 2014. So that episode is releasing tomorrow, assuming Dave sends me the episode to release tomorrow. So let's hope that happens, everyone. But yeah, it does come out every Wednesday. We've been doing it for quite a while. There's over 600 episodes. If you like movies, it's a fun podcast to listen to. As is Jacob Roth's podcast. Plug away, my friend.
Yes, well, we got a few things to plug here. If
yeah,
you would
a
like
lot.
more
A
past
lot.
lives talk, our most recent episode was on past lives. Everybody on the podcast loved it. Some loved it for different reasons than others, but we all enjoyed it, which I think is a sign of a good movie. If everybody can kind of have a different perspective on it and still enjoy it. But we've got 3 other Oscar-nominated movies that you can go back and listen to: The Holdovers, Nimona, and May December as well. And coming up next Monday, Michael and Garrison will be joining Tate and I for our annual Oscar prediction show.
Nice.
So that will be live on the
Alrighty.
Good Day for a Movie podcast YouTube channel. I think that's going to be at 8:30. I think I said 8 o'clock to you guys. Mountain time, it's going to be 8:30 because Tate is seeing Dune, and his showing should end at about 8:00 Mountain Time, so he may be a little bit late. But
we'll figure it out. It's all good.
Tomorrow night, if you would like to hear more of Dr. Earl and myself,
that's right,
joined by Matt Mink, we will be discussing episodes 4, 5, and 6 of season 4 of The Chosen.
Another show with 3-episode drops. I'm tired of this 3-episode drop. I can't keep it in my head.
It's like that was the trinity of episodes.
Their first episode went 2 hours, and I was there for all of it.
That's right.
Wow.
We did. We did go full 2 hours.
Fire! It's fire.
I think it'll be less than 2 hours this time because we won't have to do all the intros and stuff and talk about ourselves as much. But
that's true. That's true.
Yeah, so probably about the hour and a half range is probably what we'll be at. Yeah.
Nice.
That is also available in podcast form on the Good Day for a Movie podcast podcast feed, live streamed on the Good Day for a Movie podcast YouTube channel. You can follow me at Roth from Wyoming, socials, Letterboxd. I think that's all my plugs.
Awesome.
Go Pokes.
Garrison, yes, go Pokes. Garrison, where can people find you on the interwebs?
You can find me on Twitter at griffin3, where I'm lamenting about the lack of being able to hijack planes. Just such a sad moment in American history.
Poor Mohammed.
And Molotov cocktails, too. I mean, I just love to get together with my buddies and just throw around some Molotovs at houses. And,
It's crazy that you can't hunger strike anymore.
I know. Just they're preventing you from hunger striking. That's forcing food down your throat. It's why we're so obese in America.
Yeah,
that's true. That's true. That's exactly why.
griffin3, same on Instagram and Letterboxd at griffin.
Awesome. Dr. Earl off the grid for the most part. He can be
right. Episode 4, 5, and 6 of The Chosen right here.
A Catholic and two Protestants go to the movies.
That's right. GDF.
I'm just going to recommend that continues after The Chosen season is over, because there are plenty of faith-based movies that come out now in theaters. Like, if all 3 of you guys happen to go see Ordinary Angels.
Oh yeah, I do want to see Cabrini. I think that looks really good.
Ordinary Angels. There's some Noah's Ark movie coming out in March, like a documentary type thing. I mean,
let's not get crazy.
We could start it out as a monthly release type of deal,
as it's needed.
I'm just saying.
As it's released, not a every week thing.
Like maybe a monthly thing.
It needs to continue. Yeah. Why not? Why not? It might be fun. If you happen to see the same film or something, it might be fun. Brian, do you want people to be able to find you any place on social media?
Only place you need to find me is on MySpace /Brian, Uncle Brian. No, I'm on the Deucecast, and Mike will let you introduce the Deucecast.
Well, yeah, I kind of do. The Deucecast is our Discord server. We more talk about that on the podcast episode, but yeah, I mean, if you happen to be hanging out as Ted does, and knows anything about Discord, and you want to join up, you can always DM us on X or Facebook at the Deucecast, or you can email us at Gmail. I think it's the Deucecast@gmail.com.
We need a resume, a $50 deposit, and,
right? Of course,
and a picture of you with red.
No pets allowed. Oh wait, no, there is pets allowed now. You guys forced me to do a pet
fee over here.
You guys forced me to do a pets channel, so I did that. So, anyways, we really appreciate everybody hanging out live tonight. If you catch this later on, leave a comment. I'll do my best.
Where was Brian staying?
Where was Brian staying? What if you guessed did Rhett happen to guess the hotel?
He did not.
Good.
Oh, I totally thought it was Rwanda.
Yeah, exactly. We will be back next week for the title episode, A Different Approach, allegedly, since that's on IMDb. I'm supposed to not say that, but that is the title of the stupid episode.
I just want to make sure it was elsewhere other than just IMDb.
It's elsewhere. They wouldn't have. It's elsewhere.
I thought of Wikipedia.
So thank you guys, and we will see you guys next week.